I am Wyatt Hambley, and this is my presentation on mentorship in the workplace. What is mentorship? To me, mentorship is having someone, one person. It could be multiple, but for me, it's one person that you look up to in certain scenarios. For work, it'd be the one person that you get along with and you work well with, and they always have the answers for you and can talk with you. By definition, by the Oxford Dictionary, it's the guidance provided by a mentor, especially an experienced person in a company or educational institution. That's mentorship. Mentorships are awesome. I've been a mentee quite a few times in 4 different jobs and multiple different local coaches who were very good and decided to take me under their wing. In the summer of 2020, I worked for Lindsay Corporation, which does irrigation, has pivots. And when I was being interviewed for the internship for customer service, my boss asked me what my best form of learning was, how I learned best. And I told him that I like to have a mentor. I like to have that one person that I can always go to that will answer my questions, is almost expecting me to have questions for them to be able to answer as best as they can. He thought that was very interesting, and when I started the internship, we created the mentorship in that company. And that summer, I was able to work with one person and get all my questions answered to the best of their abilities. And if they couldn't answer it, then we go to my boss and take the correct way of going about it, stuff that I would not have necessarily gone straight to my boss for. Mentorships in the workplace work. Crystal Turner Moffitt explains that mentees have a higher chance of getting promoted quicker compared to those who do not have a mentor. They're more productive and navigate an organization's culture better. Moffitt explains that women specifically benefit from mentorship programs through retention, accountability, networking, and confidence. Moffitt also talks about developing a culture of mentorship throughout a workplace and describes it with great detail. I really enjoyed reading about it. To begin with, mentorship takes a team effort, so it's not just the CEO setting up mentorships mentees. It's a whole team, people coming together to choose other mentors or mentees if they feel necessary. She explains that mentor relationships should not be placed together based on personality, but should be more of a complementary thing. So their jobs, for example, you put together a developer and put together a marketer. This way you have 2 people from different sides of the company to be able to work together and give outside information to each other or insight to each other's jobs when they're struggling or need help with something. This also helps create better leaders for the company, as you're able to understand different areas of the company. For example, the marketer and the developer are able to see each other's side of things, and so when they become leaders in the company, they can work with both of those departments, if not more. Communication, she explains, is also very important to keep everybody on track. Mentors communicating with their mentees and mentors communicating with the higher-ups to give inside information on who would make great leaders and who maybe not so much. Jennifer Altman has a very good article called New Practitioners Forum, where she explains that having an example can make transitioning into the workforce much easier. And by that, she means having someone to shadow or to follow around. They're able to understand what to do in the daily life of a pharmacologist. That's what this article is on. So pharmacologists apparently have a lot of questions that they ask. How do I do this? When do I do that? What about this? And just a ton of questions that they run through in their daily activities. So based on their studies, having a mentor, that's someone that they can follow around and figure out what they do on a daily basis, how they do things, where they do it, why they do it, really helps transition up and coming new pharmacologists into the workforce. And lastly, it's the guidance of a mentor is accomplished through demonstration, instruction, challenge, and encouragement on a more or less regular basis over an extended period of time. This is an explanation of how Mary and Stephen Hamilton talk about the importance of mentors in the lives of youth and trying to keep them out of trouble. There's a 32-page article which I found very interesting, and they explain that carrying over youth mentorship into workplace mentorship helps those youth become better mentors. What to do with this knowledge? I read many articles and gained a lot of knowledge from the videos and articles that we read as a class, as well as the outside studies that I did. And to begin, I'd say take teaching moments and coaching more seriously. I'm currently the graduate assistant for the shooting sports team, and I have a pretty good sense of humor, and I enjoy joking with people, but sometimes I don't take it as seriously. I'd like to take teaching moments in coaching more seriously, whether it's about life and classes or about shooting and what you're doing out on the trap range. I think taking those more seriously as people are fully taking in the information that I'm giving them as a coach and someone they look up to. And it needs to be quality information, and I make sure that I get it across well. Next is develop mentors out of others. From coaching and the kids that I'm coaching right now to a future business, I would like to see more leaders on our shooting sports team. My coach and I have talked about this multiple times, as him and I shouldn't be the only leaders on the team, but juniors and seniors per se should step up and take leader roles. I think making mentors out of the upperclassmen on the team would be very important and help out as well. I think that could come across in a business as helpful too, where your senior leaders become mentors. And whether it's an established role or not, or a program, it doesn't have to be. But just so they just know that they're mentors and people are going to look up to them would be very helpful. Creating a mentorship program in my business, similar to what I talked about of developing mentors out of others, I would like to run my own business someday. I'd like to own it and run it and be my own boss. And I think with my employees, I would like to be a mentor to them as well as them be mentors to those below them. And that can be fellow employees, people outside of work, just have this sense of mentorship that they are doing quality work and being a great employee, and people look up to them, and they should explain that to those below them. I think mentoring youth as best as possible is very interesting, as I said with the Hamilton article. Finding kids, whether that be coaching youth sports teams or helping out those in need, mentoring youth to help get them on the right track and have a good work ethic is important. And lastly, considering applicants for their ability to perform the task which they are interviewing for, and their ability or experience to be a mentor to others. Meaning, when I look to hire an employee, whether it be for my business or a different business that I'm working for, see if I can find some kind of mentorship trait in that individual. So instead of seeing that they have a spectacular or not so spectacular resume, but that they have the potential to teach others, to coach others, and be a great mentor and lead a team of mentees or an individual mentee to success throughout their career, I think would be very important. And here are my references. Thank you very much.